What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. I hope everyone has been enjoying their post-win against Brighton. And the environment since then has kind of changed, as well as I hope everyone enjoyed the remainder of their weekend as well. Especially when you look at the table with Manchester United. But before we get into more juicy stuff about Manchester United, like, subscribe, follow, whether on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify, as well as follow on Instagram and TikTok at the Red Devils Corner Kick Pod, and as well as on X at RD Corner Kick Pod. So today's episode, just playing a little catch up from the post reaction of the win, as well as, well, as much as we're getting closer to the end of October, we are basically only a couple months away from a January transfer window. So things are starting to speculate, heat up. Obviously, with AFCON coming up, we have questions about certain players that want to leave in January, i.e. Xerxes, Menu. Those are potential ones. Also, there's potential targets. Stiller from Bundesliga is still up there. There's a chance that they could go for him in January. Obviously, since the win against Brighton, Carlos Baliba, who has been a target of United since near the end of the transfer window, that could be off. That has been off. Potentially could be off the books, and not just me who's talking about it, but there has been other fan channels discussing that as well. And looking at Elliot Anderson, potentially going out to beyond Bundesliga and looking to other leagues. Ullman from Sporting, there's talks there. There's Conor Gallagher from Atletico. That's been coming up again too. So there is a lot of things going on. And listen, we're trying to build the youth. There's always news that came out today. It was, filing. From filing, young kid, 16-year-old striker filing. He is potentially going to be signed. They're going to go through that process as well. Kevin Filing just came to my head. But they're going to be looking at that as potential signing. So them building, the group, or how should I say the group? They're building up the academy to get things going as well. Yes, transfers are starting to heat up. The transfer talks, I know it's only been 2 months since the end of the summer transfer window, and now we're getting ready to be heated up for the January transfer window. So I guess you could say just over a month and a half since the transfer window ended, but the new one's coming up in about 2 months. So Man United are now targeting players, again, some youth players. And the youth academy they're trying to grow that. They're trying to get the youth academy back to what it was, and not just trying to get another class of 92, but just try to build up and get assets, build up talent. That way, when we're going into the future, we're able to pull from the academy. We're able to develop. We're able to get players back. Not just a Rashford here, or a Garnacho, or Kobe Mainu. Or if you even look farther back, we will need to build. One player that is slowly coming up the ranks, and at one point you'll be maybe seeing him in a United jersey, is JJ Gabriel. He has been an amazing talent. You have Cheeto Obi, who's been incredible as well. Scored a goal today in the under-21s win. But we are starting to build the youth. And that's what it has to be. You can talk about, why aren't we going for this player, this player, this player? The goal is the youth. And you have to build that up to get future talent, to build an environment, to build, a winning situation, or a winning club. That you have to start building everything up to get the youth ready to go. So that's what the club is looking for. Also as well, yes, the post-game win from Brighton. Listen, I did the post-game on Saturday, talking about how I was very happy with the win. That's the title of the last episode as well. So if you haven't listened to it, listen to it either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. But since the win, we're seeing a change environment. I mentioned this literally right at the start of the episode, which was just a couple minutes ago. But yeah, we're seeing an environment. And the one thing too is, and I mentioned this one episode last week when we beat Liverpool and having the back-to-back, or winning the back-to-back, we have to focus on the next game. And as much as the fan base is happy, you're starting to see the media start talking things around. You're seeing ESPN and everything in a different environment. Yes, we've won 3 games in a row. Cool. We have Forest this weekend. And I'm going to repeat something that I said going into the Liverpool match. Forest is going through changes. They're on their 3rd manager already this season. Sean Dyche, we know him, obviously, with managing Everton, and Postecoglou, sorry if I mispronounced that, but obviously he was hired on after the original manager that was there. After there's basically the original manager left, he's gone, Ange is gone, and now it's on to Sean Dyche. And Ange was only there for 8 games, 8 games and a couple European, which included a couple European games. But they did struggle. Not only that, the record and the Prem has not been the best either for them. But here we are. We're in a situation where they're. And listen, we have to focus on this game. It's on the road and it's there. My preview episode will be on Thursday, as I usually do my episodes. So I will be going more into depth about that. And just like I was saying, it is the setup of a trap game. Because again, as much as we are going up that mountain, we can't just fly up to the top and soar high. We have to continue building it. So we have that game going on. And as way Amram is, we have to keep focusing on the right stuff. And he is setting the tone for the environment. Ineos, everyone is trying to set the right tone to get things going. And the players are doing the right things too. You're seeing good things after a 3-game win streak. Cool. But we have to start looking at the right elements here. We have to start looking at different pieces of where we need to be. So we're getting healthy. We're getting players back. We're getting things done correctly and hoping to build on it. So don't get me wrong. The win on Saturday was great. I'm happy for it. But now, like I've mentioned against Liverpool, let's move on to the next game. And that's basically it. So, fans, I'm happy with it. I don't want to start talking about, Champions League, top 4, Premier League. We're only in October, folks. We're only in October. I am not screaming, give me the trophy, give me everything, just hand it to me today. But what I'm saying is, please be patient. Let them build. Let them get things going. And just pulling up the table right now, yes, we're currently sitting in 6th. 6 points back from Arsenal at the top. Technically tied with City, but the goals for are definitely a little bit higher. Our goals against are tough. We're actually basically the same as Liverpool. But we do have to keep building, be smarter, get things correctly. So you'll see that as the season progresses. But listen, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Sunderland, City, us, Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Listen, we're in a good spot. But this week we have Brighton. It's not Brighton. We just played Brighton. We have Nottingham Forest, and the week after that, Tottenham. Just keep focus on that. Don't get me wrong. It's great to see us higher up in the standings, but at the same time, too, it'll be better for us to be prepared and get ready to go, and that's what we need to do. So that's basically it. But yeah. So again, remember Thursday we'll be doing my preview. So please keep an eye out for that episode. And as always, every game, I am always going to do a post game. Also, don't forget one thing too. I mentioned I'll bring it to you, but I just mentioned it now. I did update that, so episodes now for the podcast. I was being too sporadic. I do apologize for that, but episodes every Tuesday, Thursday, and after a game. And if there's anything happening in between, I'll try to do it. But mainly, it's always going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and always the game. And usually, my Thursdays are going to be my preview games. Just for me, it's a lot easier to do that as I slowly start building it up. And as I'm continuing on, thank you to all those that have just recently subscribed to the pod on YouTube, and those who have followed on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for the likes. Thank you to all of them, or thank you to everyone. Really do appreciate it. But again, for those that have just recently subscribed to the YouTube channel, thank you for joining, and to all those who have liked my posts as well as started following on social media too. Thank you again. I greatly do appreciate it. But back to what I want to talk about, transfers. Listen, we have, like I mentioned before I got into the segment about the post game against or the post reactions of Brighton's win. Transfers coming up. It's near the end of October. We're coming up to January. Is going to be here a lot. We're a lot closer to January than we were before. So we're definitely going to start looking at targets. And I mentioned those: Elliot, Ullman, Carlos Baliba, because that's what led me into talking about Brighton. What else is there? Stiller as well. I mentioned the building up of the youth academy just a few minutes ago, but there are potential targets. And listen, the question is, do we have the money? That's basically it. Elliot Anderson, who plays for Forest, who will be playing this weekend. A rumor is 100 to 120 million pounds for him for a transfer window. So that's probably not going to look good. There is the Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace discussions. We'll be seeing him in a couple weeks, but we already know how well he is. Carlos Baliba, after this past weekend, plus him being subbed off again, taking another yellow, is he the right choice? Are we going to see a player who is trying to make himself bigger than the club? Because again, we're trying to get rid of that attitude within Manchester United. Do we want to get a player like that in the club? Someone who isn't satisfied, what's going on there? Like, no, we don't. But listen, we know he's a great talent, but he's definitely trying to make himself bigger. And especially when you hear a team like Manchester United wanting to sign him and him being all the way he is. Again, I mentioned he hasn't been the best this season. There has been some games where he has played only a few amount of games, whether he's been subbed on for 24 minutes or subbed off after 40 minutes or 49 minutes. So that is a concern. But could it be something that he needs to deal with? Maybe, but right now, Baliba is not I wouldn't take him as a target for Manchester United for the way he is playing this season. And I wouldn't want to pay 120 million pounds or 120 million euros for him. So targets like Wharton, Ullman, Stiller, those are players that they're looking at. Potential Conor Gallagher loan to obligation to buy could be happening in January. Those are potentials. I know they're going to try and get Connor on loan at the end of the window, but that didn't go through. Midfield is a priority come January. It really is. The question is, how much do we want to spend? Are we going to have funds? That's the important thing too. Because the one thing that's going to be potentially happening is hopefully Barcelona is going to purchase Rashford for 40. The one thing as well is it was announced that United have given the go-ahead to Napoli to fully purchase Rasmus in January. So that's a potential too. And just give me one moment, guys. I got to sneeze. Sorry about that. I did not want to do that on live air. Well, not live air, on the recording. It would sound like a windstorm is coming through the microphone. But yes, given the permission to buy him. So we could have funds, but those funds are basically going to be trying to balance the books, trying to get things going. We do need to sell players. So we have to look into still selling players, but unless they have a budget that they didn't use in the remainder of the summer window and saving it for January, that could potentially be. So we'll see how that goes. All we can do is wait. But yes, Gallagher is a potential target. Like Gallagher, Stiller, I think I would be fine. Wharton, we won't see until the end of we won't see until the next summer transfer window because of the release clause. So we'll wait and see on how that develops at Crystal Palace as well. So only time will tell as everything starts building up and as we get closer to the transfer window, as we start hearing more facts than rumors. That's what it is. And I know on the weekend, I was going to try and look more into Xerxes and Manu, because obviously those transfers are still up in the air. There's rumors of them being blocked because we do have AFCON coming up in January, like end of December, January. So depending if they're going, and Mbuemo is going to be gone, Ahmad's going to be gone, Mazraoui is going to be gone. So we're going to have 3 players down. So we're not going to have 2 wing backs either. That is one thing too. And again, Harry Moss is out on loan. Luke Shaw can't play it physically. So we would only have Dorgu and Dalot. So we would need depth pieces. Having a Mbuemo gone means Xerxes has opportunities to get minutes, or Bruno will move up, and then you have Manu in that position as well. So we have opportunities there. So we do need to keep an eye on those. So that's kind of a good thing that they're going to be locking those transfers, because losing those players is big. And when we would look at January, let me just take a look here. Where did I go? Let's go back here, back to United. Let's just take a look here. March. Oh, I went a little too far. So again, we have Leeds, we have Burnley, we have United. Or no, we are United. Yeah, so Leeds, Burnley, Man City, and Arsenal, and as well as Fulham. So we have those games going on. I'm just going to double check AFCON for one moment. Yeah. So AFCON, let's just take a look here. Let's just see when it will start. Just trying to get it here. So AFCON goes from Sunday, so it starts December 3rd, 21st, so it means teams will probably be leaving earlier, and it goes until January 18th. So as much as, yes, we have AFCON, so yeah, that changes everything. So going back to it, so chances are, because we have, so chances are we're going to be losing Mbuemo and all of them. So we're going to lose the majority of them before Villa because of AFCON. So the games that we're going to have them gone, we should have them all back before Arsenal, which is good. But the games that we're going to be missing them is, they're all important games. I'm not going to say there isn't an important game. Chances are we'll lose them after Wolves. So Bournemouth, they're gone. Villa, Newcastle, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, City, and then they should be back for, and again, it all depends on when. Again, they all play for different teams, which, it's always good. You always hope that they go out early. So we only lose them for 2 weeks. But don't want to sound mean, but I would like them back. But yeah, Villa is a tough challenge. Bournemouth is going to be a tough challenge. Villa will be a tough challenge. Newcastle is a tough challenge. Wolves, again, because we're playing Wolves twice in the same month. We play them on the 8th, and now we're playing them on the 30th. Leeds and Burnley, and then hopefully everyone's back before the 17th against City. So yes, it's the 3 players. Yes, we have replacements, but it is 3 players that we do need, and we do not have the proper depth at this time. Because again, we're losing a defenseman like Mazraoui, and who can also play wing back. We're losing a 10 and a wing back in Ahmad. So having the additional 10s is good, because you have Mbuemo, you have Mount, you have Xerxes, you also have Mainu, who can play in the 8, you have Casemiro and Ugarte. So you have that there, plus Leach is coming back, which helps replace Mazraoui, which is good, but he won't be fully fit. But still, you have Harry Maguire. Our D, like our back 3 is fine, but it's just the wing backs, and it's the wing backs I'm concerned with, because we'll only have 2. We'll only have Dorgu, Delo, unless they start bringing up Diego Leon as someone who needs to start being prepared. They have to start looking at potential academy players coming through. So it's just a matter of that. Maybe we should Cheeto Obi get some more time too, because again, like if we lose, if Sesko goes down, we have Xerxes, which means we'll have to rely on Bruno to be up at the 10. Because Mount can't play that much because we want to make sure he's coming off the bench. So Mainu will be there. So a lot of players that we have to look at. So depth is key. Like as much as I mentioned before, depth is key. And having too much depth is a good thing, but also a bad thing in disguise. So, but in this moment here for that length of time, it's, yeah. So all we can do is just sit here and wait and see how it all plays out. But it's a patience game. We don't know what will happen because, well, I'm just taking a look here. Sorry about that. But yeah, going after AFCON again, transfer window, and I know I'm a little scattered all over the place, but having this type of tournament means how important it is to have depth, and it really does. And I know we never targeted the midfield or targeted wing backs in the summer, but having this type of situation means a lot. It does. Having someone there to back up Bruno, having someone there for cast, like we have Ugarte and Mainu, we have good, but again, that's a month of players gone, and hopefully nothing happens to those 3 players while they're gone too. So it's just, we have to be patient. And that's all it is, and that's when the pressure relies on it. But as we get closer to it, we'll discuss more about it, about who the replacements will be, who the targets will be, who do we think should be playing a replacement. So I know Xerxes will definitely get his minutes then. We know Mainu will have to get his minutes then too as well. Because you want to start building up everything, get the right placements. So again, like I said, losing Ahmad means you're losing a 10 and a wing back. Losing Mazraoui means you're losing another center back and a wing back. And Mbuemo, again, you're losing a 10, losing a potential false 9 striker. Well, I shouldn't say potential, but a false 9 striker. But you're losing a big impact there. So the pressure will be on come that time. And those games, some people are like, oh, look where they are on the table. I don't care where they are on the table. They're all massive games. So for the way this club needs to be, those games need to be there, and everyone needs to be playing to their best of their abilities, best of their strengths. So as we get closer to it, I will discuss it. But yeah, having this here is basically, just discussing how important depth and, control and everything there. Because again, we need those players. We need pieces there to help with this club. And, it's up. Yeah. So, yeah. But yes, transfers, everything. But hopefully getting those pieces there with, if we can get a player like Stiller, if we can get someone there to help, like if we can get someone in January to have that too, that would be great. But it's just a matter of just waiting and seeing on, what we're going to look at. So we have targets in mind. The question is, do we have the funds? Do we have the right ordinance? Are we going to have to sell players? Because I know there's talks of Bruno and his sale. and that came out last week. But yeah, it's transfers are important. And yeah, we do. So, but yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today's episode of the pod before I start rambling and repeating myself. Yes, I do apologize for it to being a little out of the ordinary, but it is, again, transfers are important. We have those targets that we want to look at. AFCON, the missing of those players, having the replacements that need to step up. We're going to be, it's going to be, yeah, we'll definitely see how good our depth is when we get through that stretch. And that will help, again, depending on that approach, that will be important come the January transfer window too. So listen, it's all about what needs to look like. But again, if we're going to look at targets, we have to look at affordability of players that fit the right system. Elliot Anderson, Baliba having those £100 million price tags are just difficult to see. And having, Stiller, actually, let me look at so Angelo Stiller. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, because he plays for Stuttgart, so he is a potential target. Very defensive midfielder. You can bring him in, but listen, it's just about. Let me see here. Let's just check his transfer fee. That's not what I wanted. There we go. 40 to 50 million euros, and I think you have to pay an extra. I think I heard somewhere today paying an extra 2 million to exercise the release clause. So I think the release clause is close to 40 million pounds. So we'll see. And again, release clauses are set usually in the contract, because I know United, there's one for Bruno that we talked about. I think it was like 65 million or something. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there for the rest of the episode. I do apologize for a little bit of a pause. I did experience some technical issue while recording the episode of the podcast. I am back up. So I do apologize for a little bit of a pause. But everything seems to be hopefully in order with the podcast, or with this episode. I hope so as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Obviously talking about the transfer window and obviously mentioning Bruno, but I will leave it there. I will be back Thursday with a new episode as well. The women are actually back this weekend. They play Sunday. We do have a few games, and then they're on their international break come the beginning of December. And they're back in their Champions League matchups with Wolfsburg and as well as PSG. And again, I'm going to do my best to try and get more episodes out about the women's squad as well. So I will talk to you guys Thursday. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, and following on Instagram, TikTok, and X as well. And thank you to all those who have been following, liking my posts, and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget, I did update. It is shown on my social media. Tuesday, Wednesdays, new episodes, and then episodes after every game as well. So again, enjoy your Tuesday. Enjoy your Wednesday. I'll talk to you guys Thursday. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.